We know how hard a fitna music is, right? Especially in the modern day where you just can't get away from it. You're in the mall, music. You're in the shop, music. You're in the car, music. Everywhere it's there, right? The cues are constantly there. And we're going to speak about that. But the hardest part about music is that it's pleasurable, right? It's fun, it's enjoyable, it's pleasurable. And that's why it's such a hard thing to get rid of, because you like it, right? There's things like alcohol, which people just don't like. There's things like drugs, which people just don't like. Like, it's not a fun and pleasurable thing to literally do it. But music is different. It's easy, it's fun. And I think the hardest part about quitting this as well is that we are so programmed to like music, or programmed to listen to music. Like, for me, and I guess maybe for you, I have been listening to music, like in terms of before I was Muslim, etc. In the womb, bro. In the womb, I was being played music, classical music. When I was out of the womb, I was eating food while listening to scarecrow songs, like, olden day Coco Melon stuff. I remember things like Barney. I remember things like this is constantly programming you to like music and to create this habit that is hard to get rid of, because if you've been doing it for like 16, 17 years, how are you now suddenly just gonna get rid of it? Like, that's against your identity. Also, the jahiliyyah around music, right? Because of Muslims just not caring if it's permissible or impermissible. It also fosters this pace and environment of addiction. Because what? It's music's being played in Eid, music is being played in the cars with the Muslims, music's being played in the house with the Muslims. It's everywhere. So then it becomes harder to quit. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said himself that from among my followers there'll be some people who consider illegal sexual intercourse, the wearing of silk, the drinking of alcoholic beverages, and the use of musical instruments as lawful. So this is just fulfilling that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the pain. Don't worry about the difficulty, because in this video, if you stick with me for 20-30 minutes, I promise that we're going to go through an entire step-by-step guide and the mindsets towards getting rid of music from your life, or at least significantly decreasing the music that you listen to, Insha'Allah. So without further ado, let's get into the video. But before that, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Sultan. Our mission here at the Sultanate is to annihilate weakness in the males of the Ummah, to annihilate sin that we do, so that we can continue to strive to become Rijal, men. We do this by progressing in Deen and Dunya, to please Allah first. Second, to make a positive impact in the nation of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And number three is to gain success in this life and the next. So if you want those three things, if you also are on this mission of annihilating sin, annihilating weakness as a man, then join us at the Sultanate by subscribing to the channel, because you get more free guides like these where it'll just be breakdown, straight education on how to progress in Deen and Dunya, as well as joining the Discord server, because you'll be able to come to me. We do 2 calls a week now where you'll be able to ask me questions directly and interact with brothers who are on the same mindset as you and the same mission as you on the Sultanate. So please join the Sultanate if you have the same mission, the same values, and any links that are needed are down below, resources, other things. And let's get into the video. Chapter 1 is mindset. The effect of music on the body. It's been scientifically proven. There's been experiments talking about the effect of music on the brain and the body. So for example, you can go search this yourself. Pike's analysis of music experience. Basically what happened is they took a group of people and they listened to music, and this is what they found. That 96% experienced pleasure, 83% experienced oneness with the music, and number 72% had transient mood states, and 65% reported feeling of movement. So what we see from this, let's break it down. 96% experienced pleasure. So we're getting an external stimulus. Immediately 96% are saying I feel pleasure. What's the difference between that and any other drug? You could smoke a zoot and 96% would probably feel the same thing, right? So why is music the same, similar findings? And the thing that really scares me is the 65% that said feeling of movement. That means that music not only changes the state of mind, it changes bodily function, right? It influences that at least, because 65% are saying I listen to music, now I want to move. What else is music making us decide to do in terms of our actions, right? That's the question. And you can even think about anyone, right? When you listen to music, most people want to dance or like stamp their feet. I guess this is what the 65% mean. But even normal things like facial expressions and reactions to songs that you like, or even bumping your head or moving around. This is like, we think this is not big, but dude, we just heard an external stimulus. Our bodies are moving. We just put in action because of an external stimulus. That's programming next level. Okay, I don't know if this is making sense how deep this is. Now that's because music influences the limbic system. The limbic system is also influenced by sexual hormones, drugs, and alcohol. Drugs like crack cocaine. Okay, I'm not talking about any normal drug. The same thing that crack cocaine, that alcohol, and sexual hormones influence, music also influences this area of the brain. There are many functions that the limbic system deals with. One of them is regulating emotions or controlling emotions. Second is emotional responses or reactions. Third is mood. Fourth is pain and pleasure sensations. And the fifth, which is scariest, is long-term memory and hormonal discharge. Don't forget that. So it's affecting the part of the brain that will choose to create a emotional reaction, will control emotions, will dictate mood. Music and external stimulus is impacting the brain to such a point that it can affect the place that decides mood. Hormonal discharge, including sexual ones, and will make you even want to, do the haram there, as well as pain or pleasure sensations. This is what drugs do. They're an external stimulus that activates pleasure sensations. Even social media does things like this. But for example, we can look at alcohol, right? External stimulus, boom, pleasure. So you want to keep doing that. Even watching haram, it's the same thing. It's the same concept. And that's what's scary, that music is activating the same type of area of the brain, same mechanisms in the brain as any other drug. But scariest to me is actually long-term memory, which I'm scared of autosuggestion. Let's deal with that. Autosuggestion is basically the concept of feeding your subconscious mind with certain cues to form beliefs. So most people will, I'm not talking about manifestation, I'm not talking about that. Straight, you can read things like psychocybernetics, that's what it's called. And you can see how the subconscious brain is getting programmed by your own conscious cues. And we agree with this as well, same thing with, it's the same concept as the 5 people you spend time with. The music that you listen to is also gonna influence you. But the autosuggestion is specific phrases that you can say. So affirmations are meant to work based on that, but it's a bit deeper. But that's what music actually solves, the deeper issue. It's the same thing as casting a vote to who you want to be. That's what autosuggestions are. So, in the world, when we're creating identities based on atomic habits, all these external stimuluses external sensory experiences can show us who we are. So for example, I will form a belief based on my discipline because I look at my habit tracker and I say, whoa, alhamdulillah, lots of green, meaning that I'm on that grind. But I can also form an understanding and belief that there's an issue with me because my bed is not made. Therefore, there's a cleanliness issue in my identity. Now, music is auto-suggesting identity, if you get what I mean. It's casting those votes for you. Now, your brain doesn't know the difference between what you do and what's in the song. It's just taking in information. The more information, the more votes it casts, the more it solidifies a belief system. It's like feeding yourself filth, like food, nutrition. If you feed yourself nutrition that's filth, your output will be filth. Literally, you'll look like bad, you'll feel bad, it's bad nutrition. Same thing comes with beliefs, or at least stimulus. If you import evil stimulus, you will output evil. Evil meaning haram. Nowadays, music is just promoting straight evil. Shirk, haram, etc. That's what we're inputting in our minds? That's the belief systems we want to create? Really? That we're literally taking an injecting ourselves with this pleasure and belief systems. And when I say belief systems, I mean these belief systems keep staying in your brain. When you have a belief system, you keep thinking about it. Or when you start trying to put autosuggestion in your brain, you think about it constantly. You can put autosuggestion with anything, really. You could watch videos. You could listen to me talk. That could be an autosuggestion. But music does the same thing. Now, if you keep hearing that can be cues in itself because you keep thinking about these mental pictures of those songs, of those lyrics. And then that becomes cues to do haram, or that becomes cues to solidify belief systems that cause you to do haram. If you put in evil, you get out evil. And that's the fear of music for me in terms of the long-term memory of solidifying those beliefs. Because they can alter things that are scary in your aqidah, bro. Like that's what I'm talking about. This can influence you to that point. Same thing friends can do, right? Okay, let's go into real music. Again, we talked about how music is just straight evil. Honestly speaking, modern music is audio porn. It's the truth. Like, I don't know what else to say. It's just all about the haram and it's just filth. So let's go through it. This just came in my head, but let's just think of unisex music. Unisex music would be something like EDM or house music, right? These are the things that played in clubs and parties, the type of uns music, right? But when you analyze the lyrics, which I went to go analyze lyrics, but when you analyze lyrics from a third party without all those friggin' frequencies and sounds and things messing with your brain, your emotions, you look at it for what it is. All it is about sex. Every single, if you literally analyze, don't listen, read. It's all about sex. That's why they relate, because you're in an environment where all you really want to do in the club is find a chick, snack her, move on. That's the culture of clubs, right? That's the culture of these type of places. So the music adds to the environment. They add to the actions. They add to the wanting of doing that. Now, what also scares me the most is actually feminine and masculine level music. Music targets specific desires, and you'll see how it now forms beliefs around those desires or forms a will to act on those desires. So for women, for example, let's look at Espresso or 3435, which is 69. A song like Espresso promotes these few things. If you go look at the lyrics and you psychoanalysis, whatever, and freaking it's everywhere. I can't walk through the mall without having to bang my ears in my... Sorry, I'm crashing out about this song. But okay. Zina, casual sex, adultery, swearing, destruction of haya, like sexuality, showing your sexuality, tabarruj, and it's just beautifying it. It's beautifying this zina. It's beautifying this destruction of haya. It's beautifying it because it's pretty the way that they sing it. For example, you can even say 3435. When I was analyzing lyrics, the song title is already starting autosuggestion. And it makes it look pretty. It makes it look nice. It makes it look cool. It makes it look like, why don't we do it? It sounds so fun. It takes away the severity of it. I remember Sheikh Bilal Asad saying something along those lines that like they'll call alcohol by a different name and they call it spirits. They beautify it. This is what they're doing with the music. They're beautifying these belief systems. They're beautifying this evil. It's literally called, it's literally, the song title is literally Zina. And when you listen to the song, all it is just, please can we do Zina? I love Zina. That's literally the whole point. That's the song. And you just sing it like, these are songs that when I was 10 years old were playing in the radio. Right? When I was 10 years old, songs like 3435 were playing in the radio. And I'm there listening to it. It's like, I'm listening to audio porn. Guess what that's going to create in my brain? Of course I didn't understand it, but over time I did. But that's what's being shoved down my throat. Or sorry, my brain in my ears, right? But let's look at a song like Sprinter, right? A male song. What do male songs promote to their people? Materialism, boasting, money, gang violence, murder, clubs, zina, haram relationship, status, drugs, smoking, guns. That's all it is. That's the song. There's a lot of melodies and a lot of mad rap, but that's all they're saying. They're all promoting this. It's just in a beautified way. Now you start spitting it. You start rapping it. You're like, I'm not going to sing it, but okay. You start saying these songs and now you start forming beliefs because you're saying it. You're literally saying it. You're now telling your brain, yes, this is me. Yes, this is what I want. Yes, this is what is right. And your brain's going to start chasing that. It's going to start believing that. And it's going to start messing around with your little, reward system. And it's going to say, yes, when I feel pleasure when I think of these thoughts or when I hear these things. So I should chase that. That's why people are so programmed. I'm not even talking about gang violence, like with the drill. But more so the partying is because that's all they hear. They hear songs about partying and having sex. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to want to party and have sex because it's a human desire. The music is beautifying the desire and pushing them towards it with the belief system. This is deep. I don't know if I'm getting my point. Like, this is mad. This is programming from shaitan. That's why they call it the recitation of the shaitan, because it's true. And I even remember, like, there's a scholar who said, like, music and Quran can be in the same heart. But let's change the music to recitation of the shaitan. Then it makes so much sense, right? The recitation of shaitan and the recitation of Allah cannot be in the same heart, because either the heart is diseased or it's inclined towards Allah. That's why you feel that really deep, heavy feeling when you try and quit music, but you can't, because you're going against you. I don't know. It's like a weird thing. Like, you're inputting evil when you don't wanna. When your heart doesn't want to hear these things. Music is targeting two specific desires. So for the women, it's targeting this destruction of haya, this sexuality and openness of sexuality, which will trigger that beautification want, right? They will want to be beautified, as well as attention from men. This is the second thing that they really promote in songs about men and being controlled and things like this, right? Now for the men, what will happen in songs is they talk about power and status. These are two inner desires that most men will probably, don't lie, that's what you want. At the end of the day, every song is like Drake. You want power, status. And power means, money. Status means girls. That's why they rap, I got this chick and that chick, and I gave rid of that chick, and I got a gun, and I shot this guy, and I'm just that guy, I'm just the leader, I got the money, I got the car. That's basically what they're saying. It's beautified, but all they're saying is that. For example, before Islam, when I wanted to train, or even maybe you might understand this, I would only enjoy training before because I was listening to these songs. They were feeding those desires. I felt like the man by listening to it, because of course it fuels those desires, makes me feel like I'm that already with the nothing. And I start acting like I'm the man based on the song. The song influenced my state as to how I'm going to train today. That's mad. That's literally a stimulant, if you get what I mean, in that point of view. This is my opinion now, and my experience when I was younger before Islam. And so I'm showing you like music actually affects the way you're acting now. Literally, the way that I train was different because I listened to music. And it fuels that need for the power and the status. And guess what? If you listen to these songs, you allow the auto suggestion to take place, what are you gonna be obsessed with? Power, status, money, and you're gonna be obsessed with the desires, and you're gonna fulfill it in a bad haram way. There's a halal way to go about getting power, status, and money, and how a halal way to use it. Same way to get, women, etc. There's a halal means for this, but this is promoting the haram way. How many people look up to artists that are singing about stabbing people, and they go stab people in England, especially? How many artists look up to Drake, and now they start smoking zoots, etc.? How many artists look up to Ariana Grande or Sabrina Carpenter and start taking off their clothes? This is reality, I'm telling you, this is deep. This is really just an expansion on the 5 people you spend time with. And I know I've spent 20 minutes going through mindset, but so many people, they talk a lot of wild stuff about music. This is deep stuff. Shaitan is programming the people to do haram. Wild. It's like waswasa out loud in your brain, everywhere, right? It's crazy. But anyway, chapter 2 is the habit loop. So now we're gonna get into the practical. Okay, now we know. Now, okay, music is wild. Like, it's changing me. It's making me want to do evil. It's making me believe in doing evil. It's surrounding me with bad influences and bad belief systems and bad lyrics that are stuck in my mind. They even become accused to be haram. Great. Music is bad. I just want you guys to get really annoyed at music and not want to. You see it as filth that it is. The recitation of shaitan that it is. Habit loop comes down with the cue, craving, response, and reward. So what will probably happen when you start initiating this habit that is haram is that you'll either get a visual cue. So maybe you will, you'll see a Ferrari and you'll immediately start wanting to listen to songs that make you feel like a man. Second thing is habitual. So let's say, for me, a big cue comes when I try and train, because for so long before Islam, I used to train with music, right? So it becomes a thing that I'm so wired to do that it starts coming up as a craving. Third can be boredom. You can just want that pleasure sensation. That it's like a drug. I want pleasure. Number 4 is desires. Again, like I said, those desires, you just randomly feel like you want to feel like the man, you want to feel good. Maybe you were feeling bad and you listen to music. And the 5th one is lyrics. You might have lyrics stuck in your brain that may want to make you listen to the song. Second is the craving. So this is the dopamine that you want to get, or the desire you want to feel when you're listening to music. And the third thing is response. So now jihad will start. The party of Allah and the party of shaitan will start fighting for you to do something. And either you're going to listen to the party of shaitan and you'll do what he wants, which will get to the reward of this dunya, or you'll resist the urge to listen to music, and your response will be, okay, I'm gonna listen to the party of Allah, and what's gonna happen is you get the reward from Allah. Let's get to the real meat of this guide, which is chapter 3, what's it called? The 4 laws of behavior change. The first law of behavior change is to make it invisible. How you do this? This was the single best thing I ever did when I came reconnected on Deen. I wanted to get away from this. What I did is I deleted all my playlists. Delete. Gone. No saving songs. Delete the downloads. Delete the playlist if you want. Like, I didn't delete apps. Like, I didn't delete Spotify per se. But if that's really difficult, as brothers may say that it's difficult to have the app because the temptation is so hard, then okay, delete Spotify, delete Apple Music, whatever. But, or even I'd recommend make a new account, or at least refresh it in some sort of way so that you don't get these old song picks that are your favorite. And next is make it unattractive. So what we're going to do to make music unattractive, because it is harder than things like alcohol and prawn, because you feel the reproachment. You feel wrong about it. It just feels eerie. It feels hurting. It feels wrong. So music is harder. What we're going to do is we're going to make the opposite better. So we're going to make it easy for you to have a good habit, which is listening to the Quran and even listening to nasheed, which is fine. So I want you to make a nasheed playlist for each situation, just like you would do with music. Nasheed playlist for calm, nasheed playlist for the gym, a Quran playlist of your favorite reciters with his favorite ayats. Even if you're really suffering, make a playlist of like a cappella or vocals only. At least when you get the fitna or the feeling and the desire, fail downwards. Like my concept was, fail downwards. Don't fail to the music. At least fail to the a cappella, right? If you're suffering and you're like, I need to listen to it, then do that. At least it's not the musical instruments, right? And also podcasts and lectures. And then there's make it difficult. Now, the thing you can do to make it difficult is blockers. You can put blockers on music apps, you can delete the app, which is also better. You can also download something that can make it difficult, is to make it easy to do the opposite, which is to download all your Quran stuff, all your nasheed stuff, and have earphones with you all the time. So when you're listening to music outside, you feel the cue, plug it in. Plug in what is right, get away from what's wrong. That's what I normally do. I used to do a lot more, where I'd have my earphones and I'd just put in, right, so I don't listen to this filth. Let's say when music was in the car, etc. That can help you out. And the last thing is understanding the effects of sins. I'm gonna repeat it again because I want your aql to understand. I want to empower your aql with this. Now, the macro effects of sinning is and Allah will decide which one of these you'll get, or if not, may Allah make it possible for us to have none of this. I mean, to be abandoned by Allah. Yes, abandoned, left to your own devices. Allah will cause you to forget yourself, meaning that you will forget your meaning here. You'll rob yourself of the akhirah. You'll just be an animal like all the other kuffar. You will have punishment in the grave or the hellfire. These are macro effects, right? But we don't even want to go close to that. Micro effects, which I think most of us will feel, is a loss of connection with Allah, that deep, like, your heart feels burnt or charred because of you listening to music. You also have provisions revoked, so you become poorer. Ilm revoked. You'll also have less knowledge of religious knowledge. Difficulty in discipline. So your entire progressing in Deen and Dunya is being absolutely cut by the root here. And hardship in Dunya. So literally, I think these are the 5 things that if you literally progressing in Deen and Dunya like a brother like you, these 5 things are probably the worst things you'd want to happen. No religious knowledge, no provision, loss of connection with Allah, difficulty in discipline, hardship in Dunya. So you're literally selling yourself music for all the things you don't want as a man who's progressing in Deen and Dunya. And yeah, we're letting music take that away from us. 4th thing is make it unsatisfying. I always talk about this, the 2 rakat of istighfar. So 2 rakat, if you mess up, if you listen to music willingly, like you press the button and you want to listen to it, you feel good. Every time you have a music session, just do that. At least it drowns out. It's like you have this level of, it's unsatisfying to do the habit because I have to go make wudu and I have to go and pray the 2 rakat, right? Next is seek knowledge to increase your fear of Allah. Seek knowledge on Allah and His attributes and the akhirah. And I want you to, and in terms of religiously, seek knowledge about music. If you're still like, oh, I'm doubting you, I follow this solely opinion, go and look at it. Go really look at it again. Go and see how the prohibition even came. Understand those proofs. Once you can see how severe this is. Now, number 3 is to read the book in the description, which I use to base my video off, which is called The Music Made Me Do It. This is a book that will, like, from the beginning to the end, will help you understand a bit more, and will have more chapters and more in depth for your mindset. And Insha'Allah, it's going to be beneficial to you. It's free. It's from Kalamullah. I just put the link in the description so it's easy for you to get. I pray that this was beneficial to you. It was valuable. It helped you out. And Insha'Allah, you're going to implement this stuff. You're going to get it out of your life. It's a simple process, but it's more queue managing, right? It's like you got to just make it possible that you have a way or a avenue to go down the halal path, right? To get out of this haram. And over time, I think your dopamine will readjust, right? And you will like, and the more you listen to Quran, the more you get closer to Allah, your heart will not desire the music as much because you'll get that feeling of feeling like good inside. So anyway, if you want to join the Sultanate, please do subscribe, join the Discord. All links are down below. There's also, if it's out, the Haram Habits course will be in the description as well, which will be in depth, how to go through different haram habits and get rid of it. Inshallah, I'm almost done scripting it, and we'll get it, inshallah, by the end of Ramadan. Allahu alam. But yeah, until next time, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.